If you smell what the rock is cooking, the rock says, the rock says, the rock says, the rock. The rock says, the rock says, the rock says, the rock says.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the very first official Movie Trivia Hall of Fame induction ceremony, class of 2017. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, and it is a complete honor to be able to induct both of these two gentlemen into the Hall of Fame. It's quite a journey, and to being honest, you don't get any better than this. These are two guys who are kicking off our induction ceremony. You got General Stoa coming in a little bit. We're very excited. Awesome to see him get inducted. And the question is, will he make it? We're not for certain yet, but if he doesn't, we will talk for him. It's quite an honor to be a part and to do this year. It's quite something. But first off, we're going to start off with the first official person into the Hall of Fame. And whenever they're ready, we will begin their music, and we will begin.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside, you gotta take the stand, it don't have to hide. If you hurt my friends, then you hurt my pride. I gotta be the man, I can't let it slide. I am a real American.
Today is honoring my grandfather for the very first inductee into the World Trivia Hall of Fame. My grandfather was a professional wrestler. Gary the Cowboy Day was remembered for who he aspired to be. He was such an incredible icon to myself. Somebody who really was just the guy. You don't ever want to acknowledge, but to me, he was one of the founders of Gods of Trivia, of the game. He had the idea for the game. He was such a huge impact to a lot of us as entertainers because he was a wrestler for 40 years. And he was such an iconic guy when he wanted to be able to relate to characters, because his first instinction for a lot of us was to entertain. And entertain is definitely what I would say, definitely a high strong trait. I think his goal, he said, was to entertain the people, and he loved this because we entertain the fans. And it means a lot to him. And he was such a huge person to me, emotionally. But not just that, I looked up to him. And for him to see this right now, I hope I make you proud. I hope I did make you proud. And yeah, it's the last thing I want to say when we get them inducted, he loved it. There's a few things that we learned from him originally. Was one, he did not like that I cried. He said, "You cried? That's a sissy cry." Or how Jonas Stowell was like his favorite, and he was a heel. And he goes, "You'll never be as good as Jonas Stowell. He's a champion." No, it's an incredible honor to be able to induct my grandfather, Gary the Cowboy Day. We thank you, posthumous. We thank you for everything you set your mind to for us. And yes, so thank you so much. I hope I make you proud. But yes, let's give a round of applause for Gary the Cowboy Day. I figured let's go ahead and give a moment of silence to thank him. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the main inductee of the night. Fortunately, he could not make it, so it's unfortunate, but I will speak on behalf of Jonas Stowell, one of the greatest. I would go ahead and I would say he was the greatest of all time. Jonas Stowell was such an icon. He was such an incredible icon. And when you talk about a couple guys who kind of started, he started the Trivia League. He's one of us. And for a lot of people, I consider him the greatest that ever played. He's such an iconic. He's our first champion, things like that. It's an incredible honor to be able to induct a former member of mine because I was with him on the Bo Sox. And yeah, while we were two of the greatest players who ever played the game, and then we had Evan DeGraff, who was just a manager who was like Finstock. He had no idea what the hell he was doing half the time. It was an incredible honor, and it's my privilege to be able to induct and introduce my friend, Shane the Money McMahon.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money,
Dollar, 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 dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, patent pockets. We take the dollar, dollar, can it damn, so stop it. Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold on, your bets, it's with the buck stop. See, first of all, I'm stepping out on my own. About time
Unfortunately, Jonas Stowell could not make it, so I will be inducting a good friend of mine into the Hall of Fame. An honor to be able to induct my friend. I think, when we look at a lot of us, we look at some of the guys who were in the ceremony. Some of the guys who he faced were some of the greatest of all time, from his first match with Kyle Durant or to Chris Doman to the tournament. He was our first champion. So, when you honestly, his match with Manning Franks goes down as one of the greatest of all time, I would say, he is the first champion. So it's amazing to be able to induct him, especially when we were together in the Bo Sox. I remember we were talking. I'm like, okay, so we're on the Bo Sox. And I got so many texts from my friends. Why are you joining this douchebag? No, Jonas Stowell was probably the greatest heel who has ever played this game. And, it's an honor because he was such an incredible man and he was such an interesting and incredible guy to be a part of. And, being on the Bo Sox with him was an amazing opportunity. It was an amazing thing. So, I'm glad to be able to spend the time with him. And as we look forward to our match coming in December, I'm ready for it. I think, it's an honor to be able to be a part of this and to really just join. It's a huge honor, and congratulations to my friend who could not be here today. But Yeah, so let's give a round of applause, everybody. That's it. Thank you so much for the very first inductees into the Hall of Fame ceremony, class of 2017. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out next week on the game, and we will see you guys next time.